Winning Cures Everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
Welcome in! Winning Cures Everything. It is Wednesday, June 17th. I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
And not a lot to discuss today, but we got some interesting stuff going on. Of course, we've got an announcement that we're gonna tell you guys about here momentarily. OB Matt already jumps in on YouTube. He said, "What's up? What is up, Matt?" Let me go on and give you the rundown. WinningCuresEverything.com is the website. All of our picks, previews, podcasts, videos, social media platforms, they are all over there. If you're watching the show live, by the way, brand new website layout is up. Go over, check it out. Hit us up on Twitter or wherever. Tell us what you like about it, what you don't like, what I need to change, if there's any errors, etc. Let me know. Let me know what's going on with it. WinningCuresEverything.com. Make sure that you are subscribed to all of the live platforms. We are on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Periscope. We're on Twitch. And at those spots, you can jump into the chat. The chat is right there in the bottom left corner of your screen. If you're watching the show, of course. If you're listening, you're not going to be able to see it. But you can always leave a nice review on whatever podcast app you're on. Apple Podcast is, of course, the biggest one. So leave a nice review over there. We would appreciate that. The show right now brought to you by Tunica, Mississippi, the South's premier sports gambling destination. They have got 6 wonderful sports books. You can find more information on them along with all the policies and procedures and everything else. You'll find it all over at tunicatravel.com. Matt has jumped in and said sup 5 straight times on the chat. I don't know what's going on. I wonder if he's got something on his computer. Make it 6 times. Either way. If you guys want to jump in the chat, there we go. He said, no idea why that's sent so many times. Go check it out. Make sure you are subscribed to us on the podcast. Make sure you're subscribed on all the live feeds, etc., etc. So, with that said, tunicatravel.com. Go check them out. Let's dive into this announcement right quick. We have agreed to terms with SBR. That is Sportsbook Review. You can find them at sportsbookreview.com. We are taking our college football coverage over to SBR this year. Now, we are super excited about it. We've done a few things with them. We've done the SBR roundtable. We've still got a few things that we got to work out and whatnot, but so far as it stands right now, we are going to be doing the college football coverage for Sportsbook Review, and I am excited about it. Chris, you want to go ahead and give me your thoughts here?
Yep. Nope. We're excited. We're glad to be doing it. We're going to be doing a little more than what we usually do, based around some of the needs and requirements that they have for us, which we're excited to grow and do more things that we haven't done before, which is awesome. And you just catch us right over there. We'll be sharing it out on our stuff, hopefully, and making it easy to find. We're proud to be a part of that team.
Yes, we certainly are. Like we've done the roundtable stuff. We have worked with some of the other guys. We're pretty pumped. It's going to be different, but at the same time, it's still going to be the coverage that you guys love. You are still going to be able to find it over on the website. Michael jumps in. He said, officially locked in for my seats today. He is a Broncos season ticket holder. I asked if they had any info on fans in the stadium, and the guy said he didn't have an answer. So, I mean, we'll see about that. But, hey, so far as we know, there will be a college football season. There will be an NFL season. And we will be covering that college football season for SBR, sportsbookreview.com. You'll be able to find the videos over at winningcureseverything.com and over at sportsbookreview.com. So it's going to be a good time. We're looking forward to it. Can't wait to get the season started. We will have previews coming up at the very beginning of August. And we can't wait. Cannot wait. So, Matt, I know that you're watching on YouTube. Log out of that, log back in, because everything you sends 5 times. So, and you're driving my screen crazy. Tim said, "Congrats, fellas. Been a few weeks." Yeah, it's been a little bit. We're still trying to get some stuff figured out, but the terms have been agreed upon. We are rocking and rolling. So we are looking incredibly forward to it, and we can't wait to get started with them. Let's jump into today's first topic. Zion Williamson. Now, we talked about this earlier in the week. We talked about it last week at some point. But here's what happened. A Florida judge ruled that Zion is not going to have to testify under oath. And Daniel Wallach, who is a legal analyst on Twitter, whatever. There we go. Matt said signed out and came back in. He's good. Zion is granted a full stay of the Florida lawsuit brought by Gina Ford. The third DCA's order states that the, quote, trial court's proceedings are hereby stayed. This means he will not have to answer Ford's discovery requests for now as the venue shifts to North Carolina. Basically, this was expected precedent, right? We talked about this before. Michael said, congrats, fellas. Next will be ESPN. You'll be off. Will you be off YouTube, Twitch? Winning Cures Everything is still happening. Like, we're still going to be doing Winning Cures Everything. It's just that our college football content will be at SBR. We're still talking NFL. We're still talking all the other sports.
Everything else we do is still going there.
Still going to be right here. It may not be on Twitch. It'll still be, we'll upload videos or shows or whatever to Facebook, YouTube, and on the podcast. So I don't know about Periscope. I don't know. We'll see if we have time to do them live or if we have to record them and release them later. But we'll figure that out. Either way, the shows will still come out. So you can find us at Winning Cures Everything, and you can find us at SBR. So everything will be good to go. So if you want your college football content, SBR is going to be the place to go. So Daniel Wallach, basically this was a precedent for Zion Williamson, right? Thanks to Sergey Fedorov, we knew this was probably going to go this way. They weren't going to make Zion answer these questions. However, there is still the chance in North Carolina that they will be able to they'll be able to convince another judge to make him answer those questions. However, Gina Ford is going to have to file another motion and get the discovery approved and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, Chris, I mean, what do you think here? Like, is this a lost cause at this point?
I don't know if this is a lost cause, but I feel like we get so close to actually getting
real answers,
a big school, a big dog, and all this stuff, and they just find ways to skate all these rules. And it's so strange to me that every medium-sized school in the country just finds ways of getting hammered, and all the big boys find loopholes. And it's something now remember, I'm a fan of a big boy school, okay? But I don't like bullies. I don't like that rules are only for those, who basically can't afford good lawyers or whatever. I'm just not a fan of that. I don't like it. I don't like that Duke is probably going to get away with this. This isn't against the Zion thing, which, if this lady helped work the deal that got you a lot of money and got your family taken care of while you're at Duke, and you're not going to take care of her and she somehow didn't get paid for her services, shame on everybody involved. Okay?
Agreed. For anybody that wants to know why we are it's not that we are necessarily rooting for Duke to get in trouble.
Nope.
But we kind of are, and the reason is, like, these are just a few of the instances, and thanks to Bobby Regan over at Barstool that hopped on with me back in February, he posted an article and said, it is important to remember that Lance Thomas received $100,000 in credit from a jeweler, used at $30,000 in cash while a student. The jeweler refused to work with the NCAA, so the NCAA just dropped it. It's important to remember that Corey Maggette admitted that he took cash payments from his summer league coach that would make him ineligible at Duke, but he didn't miss any games, and the NCAA didn't do anything about it.
Nope.
Let's see. It's and all the different things as to why Coach K is kind of a dirtbag, and everybody loves him so much that they're just not going to talk about it. But I mean, he was screaming at a kid after the Virginia Tech game 2 years ago. Coach K lectured an Oregon player in the handshake line that hit a three at the end of the game to beat Duke. Like, I mean, just all sorts of different stuff. Like, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Let's see. Simi Ojelay's mother, I think that's right. He yelled at her mom, or at his mom, when they said that they wanted to transfer, like screamed at him. it is important to remember that Wendell Carter Jr.'s mom called him out for being a liar. My initial reaction, I was pissed, and it wasn't pissed because Marvin was coming. To be honest, I felt like that information was kept from us, Kalia Carter said. It felt shady. It felt like my baby was going to get kicked to the curb. It felt like all of that. So this stuff has been going on for a long, long time, right? And nothing ever happens.
But they got that swoosh on their shoulder.
Yeah.
And so they get to do whatever the hell they want. But you put an Under Armour logo there or an Adidas logo there, and we get dig deep in them. And that's my problem.
Let me read you what he said. Let's see. Michael said, the NCAA makes Coach K look so clean. He's their poster boy. They'll protect him until the end. Matt said, talk to former athletes, and they all have stories of getting money or some kind of benefit. Yeah, that's true. This is exactly what Regan said. He said he might very well be the greatest college hoops coach, but it's no doubt that he's a lying dickhead who's a sore loser and has gotten lucky breaks all over the place to avoid NCAA sanctions. That's why people care about this Zion thing. Nobody gives a crap if Zion actually got paid because he deserved to get paid. It's the fact that Kay and Duke have this history of being lying dickheads. It's important to remember that.
Well, and I will tell you that I also see the side of Miss Gina Ford.
Yep. Someone
who worked a deal, negotiated something, but because these rules are all backdoor deals done under the table, she has to. You're not going to have some ironclad contract protecting you when cash is being involved to move from one place to the other, okay? And so, therefore, it's easy to leave her out in the dry and just not pay her. No, she worked a service for you. Somebody needs to nut up and pay her for her services.
Yes. Yes, 100%.
And now, because she's gone so far without payment and been let go of her job, there's punitive damage on top of that now. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with her fighting this lawsuit. And I just hate that she is a little person in this world against the giant of Zion now, and who's a mega superstar.
And Nike.
Coach K, who is untouchable. Duke, who is untouchable. And Nike. I like, you've got this woman who's fighting these four behemoths. Yes, I'm rooting for her.
Yeah.
It's not just the demise of Duke. I'm rooting for her to get what's hers.
Yes.
And if somebody wanted to stroke a check in the middle of the night or drop her some cash and say, sign this and make it all go away, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. Like I could see her settling for like $10 million.
But my issue is big schools get away with this all the time. And that middle grade school that wants to one day play with the big boys always gets slapped back down. And they get slapped back down by either the government or the NCAA. You don't belong here. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
No, I agree. I mean, we always kind of pull for the underdogs. Damian, there's something going on with YouTube. I don't know what it is, but his stuff is coming across like 4 and 5 times. So there's something up with YouTube. Damian said, funny how people can get away with anything when they are rich or famous. And then Damian said, Duke equals white privilege. We ain't getting into that today. Joseph said, did she illegally provide or negotiate benefits to Zion's parents? If so, it might bite her in the end, sadly. Yes, she did.
Well, that's it. Yes,
but that's why she's trying to get this.
In college sports do it because that's the business.
Yeah, that's the business. That's what you have to do. And that's why she was trying to get that stuff brought out in Discovery.
Now, what she did wasn't illegal. It's illegal in the NCAA's world. Yeah. She didn't do this. This isn't money laundering stuff.
No, it would just make him ineligible.
That got into with Adidas and some of the FBI issues. Those are fraud and money laundering situations, which is why the FBI got involved. Yeah. This is not a legal thing. This is a break an NCAA rule thing.
Yes. Michael said, why the hell didn't they just pay her? Money is nothing to them. The bad publicity is far worse than writing a check. That being said, I hope she never goes away, and I hope she keeps fighting.
This is the question. I don't know why. And if I was a North Carolina booster and a Kentucky booster and a Louisville booster and a Virginia Tech booster, a Kansas booster, I'd be stroking her lawyer bills all day long.
Yeah.
Send them to me,
like,
baby.
Keep fighting this. I'll keep paying.
Don't let them get off the hook because we get hammered every time something happens. Well, maybe not North Carolina. North Carolina, it's one of those guys that kind of gets away with a lot of shit. But
this is true.
But no, if I was a rival of theirs that's constantly getting bombarded by the NCAA, 100%, I'd be saying, send me that bill. Yes. Just don't let them off the hook. You keep filing motion after motion after motion. You need some money for gas. You need some money to pay your light bills and your rent. I got you. Let us float you for a little bit. You keep fighting them because they get away with stuff forever.
Yes, they do. Yes,
This is why I want this stuff. This is why I want these guys to be paid. I just want everything that's done in the darkness to be done in the light. I just want everybody to be able to see it. That's all I want.
And then we don't have to worry about it.
Yes, that's all I want. And then the best recruiters can get the best kids. You can go to school wherever the hell you want. We know that this school's offering you $200,000 and this school's offering you $220,000. If you choose them, you're taking the extra 20 grand. But if they're both offering the same, you're actually getting to go wherever the hell you want to go to school. You're not going somewhere because you think that's the only way I can really help my family.
Damien said, don't people know how to read contracts before they sign them anymore? That's not what this is about.
That's not this at all.
This is, a group of people that think that they are bigger than any contract that they signed.
Yes.
So they can just get out of it whenever they want to. It's not that they didn't read a contract. Like that's
Gina Ford was licensed in Florida to negotiate these deals. Okay. She was not licensed in the state of North Carolina, which is where he chose to go to school at. And that is Zion's argument for why they don't owe her any money is while she worked the entire deal, he chose a school in which she didn't have a license to do whatever it is that she does for services.
Yeah. The whole thing's ridiculous. Hopefully they'll keep fighting the good fight, but I mean, we shall see. But this is definitely
if I was a big boy booster at Kentucky or Kansas or somebody I'm just a constant thorn in their side of Duke, I would 100% be calling Gina Ford and saying, send me the bills. Yeah. Just send me your attorney bills and let's keep this thing going.
Now it is definitely a road bump, or a bump in the road, excuse me, but we'll get there. Matt said coming out with they're paying athletes can hurt academics. Who would want to go to a school where athletes are paid? Everybody?
I don't know anybody that wouldn't want to go to that school.
I agree. That
didn't make any sense at all.
I think you might have been being sarcastic, but we'll see.
Okay.
Let's dive into the next topic here. This one will be fairly quick. The Southern Heritage Classic is Michael asked, can WCE get the exclusive interview with her? I doubt that she'll be talking right now, but maybe
definitely
eventually.
Don't think she'll talk to us. But
yeah, I think it'll be a little while. So again, the Southern Heritage Classic is canceled for 2020. This is the first Division I football game that has been canceled due to the current pandemic. And for those that are curious, this happens in Memphis every year. It's the second weekend in September, and it's a pretty big deal. They routinely draw 50,000 people to the game, but the reason why it's being canceled, this is the FCS. This is a lower level. They don't have the television contracts. They don't have all that kind of stuff. This thing draws about 75,000 people to the city of Memphis, and they are partying all over the city. They have parades. They have gigantic tailgates. They have all kinds of different stuff. Matt said, man, Bill Street is nuts after that game. Yeah, that's the thing. So because the COVID-19 cases are going back up right now, and it's not a ton, but the numbers make it not look good. You're not going to be able to meet your budgets and whatnot if people are not going to be able to come in town for the game. There's no sense in playing the game at a neutral site if you can't have TV, if you can't have full stands, if you can't have all of the different things that are going on around it, all of the after-party events, everything else. So that is why the game had to be canceled. Fred Jones, who is the organizer of it, he obviously did not want to cancel it, but it is the smartest thing in this situation because even if you only have half of the Liberty Bowl full, you're still not going to be able to meet your costs for everything that would have to go into the actual game, right? And Birmingham has one too called the Magic City Classic, and there's all sorts of stuff. Michael said it's going to hurt those businesses in Memphis again. They probably thought this would boost their business.
Yeah, I mean, Memphis lost, which I guess everybody in the country lost something, but this was big festival time. I mean, Memphis in May, and now losing this, that's a lot of money.
Yes, they're talking about doing Memphis in May in October, and they've got Beale Street Music Festival planned for October, but I don't know how they're going to do it. Like, it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to me.
I would not be upset with that because the weather would be spectacular. Being somebody who's out there cooking all the time in May always sucks.
Yeah, it's either hot or raining in May,
Yes.
like always is. So, no, we'll see. But yeah, very interesting stuff coming out of that. So, first college football game that has been canceled due to the coronavirus. So, the quote from Fred Jones, the health and safety of our attendees is, along with that of our staff, sponsors, and others, is a top priority, said Fred Jones. I encourage everyone to keep practicing safety and social distancing measures so that we can return to our usual activities as soon as possible. So, yeah, I mean, it's a disappointment. It's big drop-off for Memphis. But Michael said, just let adults be adults. I'm sick of them making decisions for people. Let people go if they want to. It's frustrating. Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I also know, it better to be safe. And if you cut it down to half of the attendance or something like that, yeah, you cut it down to that, and then you'll be just fine. So, let's go on and move on. Next thing up is, I guess, the biggest news of the day, and that would be Major League Baseball's latest proposal. Now, I don't know. Well, let me just read it. How's that? Ken Rosenthal put this out earlier. He said, source says MLB proposal includes 60 games in 70 days, season starting July 19th or 20th, full prorated salary, expanded playoffs in 2020 and 2021, and the waiving of any potential grievance.
I don't know what that means.
Now, the MLBPA came out, like an hour ago or an hour after this?
Pretty quickly after this happened.
And they said any reports of an agreement are false. Now, the reason this all came up, Rob Manfred met up with Tony Clark, who is the executive vice president of the MLBPA. So, they met up in Arizona. They talked about all this. They got together the framework of a deal. And I got to tell you, I am so tired of seeing this stuff. Like, Major League Baseball just continues to shoot themselves in the foot over and over and over again. All of this stuff gets leaked out. Like, Rosenthal isn't the only one that got that. Buster Olney also reported it. Like, there were a ton of guys that got the same exact information, and then the Players Association comes out and says, no agreement. Well, we didn't say it was an agreement. We said this is a proposal. Chris, I mean, I don't know where to go with this anymore. Like, I feel like we need to talk about it, but also am so damn tired of talking about
Call me when you get a deal.
Yeah.
Or call me when somebody pushes Manfred out a window.
I don't think it's just Manfred. Like, it's not just Manfred.
I don't know. I think he has cocked this thing up pretty badly. I listen, there are problems on both sides, okay? Players are not absolved of not being unwilling to move at all, okay? They are just as much to blame in this situation. This is not a greedy owners and wanting to get their way for everything, all right? But Manfred has jacked this thing up about as bad as a commissioner could jack it up.
Michael said just cancel the damn season. Damian Estrada said,
I'm just at the point where call me when you get a deal made. Call me when it's official or when one of these guys gets fired. When the players say we want a deal and Tony Clark's screwing it up, we're firing him and finding somebody else.
Yeah.
When the owners say this is just not working, you got to get out. Call me when that happens. But But right now, or call me when the Yankee letter gets unsealed. That's when I want to hear from Major League Baseball, when something actually happens. But proposals and ideas and options and we could do this, we could do that. Tired of playing the hypothetical game with you.
Yeah.
You guys should have been playing baseball a month ago. It is the easiest sport of the big three
to social distance.
To social distance and whatever. I just don't understand.
Matt said baseball has been going downhill for years. Games are too long. All the unwritten rules, diva players, they are going to lose more fans acting like this. And then Michael said, once football comes back, who really cares if MLB is playing? Rockies are usually out of it by then anyway.
What I don't understand, this is a completely different story. Totally, we might want to go down this rabbit hole, we might not. I don't get how Fauci is saying baseball needs to make sure it's finished by October when no matter about baseball, football and basketball will be starting in October. We'll be playing in October. Like, why did he single out baseball?
You got me.
I thought that was very weird from the kind of the head doctor in our country. Who
I don't know to trust Fauci
anymore
anyway, because I've heard him say so many different conflicting things now.
Which is he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's trying to learn this stuff just like anybody else. Nobody knows anything about this disease at all.
Yeah, so trying to put a timetable on when we need to be done with
and anybody who's going to throw statistics at me, forgive me if I just don't give a shit about your statistics, okay? And here's the reason why. All of your information is flawed because we don't have accurate information from anybody.
Yeah.
I have friends and family that work in the medical field who openly have told me, we had a lady who was 84 years old who came into our hospital. She's been in our hospital for 2 weeks. No traces of COVID whatsoever. She has pneumonia. She has this. She has that. And she's probably not going to make it. Before she died, she eventually somehow in the hospital contracted COVID. All of her records are now sealed under the COVID Society world, and none of her other stuff mattered at all. Doesn't go into any statistical guidelines whatsoever, and therefore all your information about this many people are dying, this many people are actually getting sick, this many people, we don't know any of those things because hospitals are fudging numbers because the government has said we will pay for all COVID medical stuff, and they're hemorrhaging money, and so they're trying to get money.
You got it.
Whenever you throw money at something, you always create another problem. Every problem has an equal but opposites reaction. That's just how the world works. Okay. So I don't know anything and I know nothing. All right. But I feel like the people that are supposed to know, they know less than me because they're actually trying to look for information. But because of rules and decisions we've made in our country, we can't get accurate information.
Yeah.
So it's all null and void. Let's just throw it all out the window. And I don't know how to figure it out.
Tim Crosby said COVID is all about the money. And then Michael said these so-called medical experts are less accurate than meteorologists. Yeah. Matt said insurance pays more if they're listed as a COVID death, even more if they were on a ventilator.
Well, nobody's on ventilators anymore from the people that I know that work in hospitals. They've actually found ventilators aren't keeping you alive. They actually are the death knell. If you go on a ventilator, you probably don't make it.
Yeah. I mean,
so they ridiculous. Just stop putting people on ventilators. So they're not getting that money. They're not so greedy that they're willing to kill you to make sure they get a little more money. But, you know.
Joseph said baseball is now the fourth sport in the U.S. behind football, basketball, UFC, and then baseball. I don't know about that.
If baseball came back for about a month, everybody be pissed off. And then at some point in time, we're all going to say, yeah, I got nothing else going on Tuesday. Let's turn on the Braves game.
Yeah. He said Fauci is assuming an increase in human contact, assuming the state's reopening. And then Michael said, that's my frustration with people canceling things over what so-called experts say. It's the blind leading the blind. Yeah, right now, that's exactly what this is. This is a pandemic, and nobody has any idea what to do, which is why it's so difficult to get these leagues started back up because everybody thinks they know something.
This is why I believe the NFL is just going to do it. They're not asking anybody's permission. If you got a governor or a state that wants to keep things locked down, you better hope your constituency likes you a lot because the power of the NFL is going to push you out of your job.
Yeah.
I fully believe that.
Yeah.
I fully believe that the NFL says nobody knows shit about shit. We're going forward. If you want to play, play. If you don't, you won't get paid. That's fine. But also it won't go against your contract. So your contract is still here whenever you do show back up. Boom. Done. Simple. We're in. We're out. Those who want to be here, let's go.
I mean, should have done that for baseball.
And baseball should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah.
They should have been playing a month ago.
And instead, we're not. So let's go ahead and dive into the last topic of the day. For those that missed it earlier, hold on. Michael said the NFL is coming through with a huge middle finger to COVID concerns. Football is bigger than COVID. Yeah, I agree with that. Matt said all the frat guys are upset they can't do beer ass bongs for the new pledges. Beer ass bongs? Is that a...
Okay, I do know there's a way to funnel beer through your asshole. I've never done it, and I've never seen anybody do it in person. But I've seen somebody do it.
I've never seen it. I've heard there was a big story about that happening. Somebody got alcohol poisoning.
You can get severely sick doing it.
Oh my God. Okay. Let's move into some SEC football.
So let's pick one division because we thought we weren't going to have much of a show. We had a whole lot of a show. Let's not do both these divisions today.
Michael said Chris is an expert in ass funneling.
Using the word expert pretty loosely, but I'll take it.
And then Tim said, are we going to have football with fans? Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I think so. I am still taking all over bets on all that. I think I think if you got season tickets to the Broncos, Bubba, you're going to be there.
Do you want to do SEC East or West?
I don't care.
Let's do the West today.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go on and do that. All right. So, here's how we're doing this. We are looking into the future. We're pulling out the crystal ball. We're looking into the future. We've met up with some fantastic psychics. And we are going to tell you who is going to be the head coach at your favorite university in the SEC West in 2025.
Not necessarily who the head coach is. We're going to tell you where the current head coach will be.
Well, I'm going to tell you who the coach will be as well.
I think that's ridiculous.
Oh, it's going to get fun. This is going to be crazy. So, let's go ahead and start with you. Let's Alabama is the first one up. Let's save them for a little bit. Is that good?
I don't know why, but okay.
So, let's move to Arkansas. Currently, Sam Pittman is the head coach. Chris, I'll let you go ahead and start us.
Sam Pittman is going to continue to be the head coach in 5 years. He will still be there. They got too many damn coaches on the books. They've got to get some money off. Sam Pittman has done this cheaper than – I would venture to say his contract is cheaper than every other coach in the SEC. I don't know that. I haven't looked into that.
It's like a hair over $3 million. Yeah.
Maybe Missouri's paying more. Oh, no. Then if he's just barely making $3 million.
Yeah, Missouri pays more.
He's the lowest paid coach in the SEC. I think they've got to regenerate the funds. They're at Arkansas. And I also think give him a couple of years with a supporting cast of offensive coordinator, defensive coordinators that I kind of like a whole lot. If you don't lose those guys to other head coaching jobs, I think he can win some ball games, improve that to where he keeps his job, but not nearly good enough to ever get a big boy job where you'd leave Arkansas for.
I am looking at it a little bit differently. I don't think that the Arkansas brass is patient enough to deal with this. I think that some of the coaches that he has currently may end up getting other jobs, may get, and who knows, this could end up being like an LSU type rebuild, but it is tough to get players at Arkansas. I don't think they are patient enough to wait around for him, and I think he will end up back as an offensive line coach somewhere else in the SEC within 5 years.
We disagree there.
I think that Brian Harsin from Boise State is going to be the next head coach at Arkansas by 2025. Now, it could be before that. It could be right at 2025. We'll see. But remember, Arkansas's got pocketbooks, man. They got money. And while right now nobody wants to spend it, in 5 years, they'll be all right with spending it if they're not getting the return that they want from their football program. Brian Harsin, he's the coach at Boise. Like, the Boise staff had to be furloughed at one point, like just a month or so ago. Like, it's tough to do that at a smaller school. Yeah, he's a Boise guy and whatnot, but he coached at Arkansas State. He's got ties to the state. I think he would go to Arkansas for some of that big Jerry Jones money. I'll take Brian Harsin to be the coach in 2025. So,
that's fine.
I mean, that's what we're supposed to do right here. Auburn. Let's move into this. You want me to go first on Auburn?
Sure.
I don't think you're going to like this. Look, obviously, every single year, Gus Malzahn is on the hot seat, right? At some point over the next 5 years, remember, that buyout goes down every single year, right? He got a big-time contract extension after the 2017 season. So 2018, 2019, now he's got 5 years left on that deal. Once you get to about 2 years left, not going to be a whole lot of money left on the contract. So you'll be able to buy him out at that point, right? I mean, they could buy him out right now. They were talking about doing it just a year ago. So we'll see. I think Dave Aranda is going to be pretty successful at Baylor. I think Auburn is going to find a way to pry Dave Aranda away, and I think Gus Malzahn will get bought out, and he's going to go be a G5 head coach somewhere. I don't think he's going to go back to being an offensive coordinator, whatever. I think as soon as he gets on the open market, he will be a head coach somewhere, kind of the same way Hugh Freeze was a head coach at Liberty, right? That's my thoughts on it. I think Auburn ends up hiring Dave Aranda by 2025. Who have you got?
I wouldn't be upset with that. I wouldn't be disappointed with that. I hope Dave Aranda is a home run hire. I don't see Arkansas or Auburn ever going back to a defensive-minded coach ever again. They pride themselves on wanting to be offensively, creative and innovative. I think they're just always going to have an offensive guy. I actually think this is a relationship that finds a way to work itself out. I know that's crazy. I know that 1 year into his new big extension, they wanted to fire him. And then he beat Bama. And I think if he beats Bama every other year, which, beat Georgia every other year, I think he saves that job. And I think they find a way to be very happy with that.
Okay.
I think a lot of their happiness depends on what happens at Alabama. Okay, when Alabama's winning national titles every year and competing for national titles every year, then you look at your coach a whole lot differently than when Alabama finishes 18th in the country. You look at your coach a whole lot different.
Yeah, no, you're right. Let me jump in.
I think they compare themselves to Bama way too much, and I just see things differently. I think they find a way to make it work simply because it's just so much money. And I don't think that contract's going to stay the way it is. I think if he beats Bama and Georgia next year somehow, okay, then I'm telling you he'll get another extension. So they wanted to fire him last year. They stat pat this year. They'll give him another extension next year, and the money will just be so much that they just can't ever fire.
Well, I mean, cheers to that. 2025 would put him at Auburn for 12 straight seasons.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we'll see. Let's see. Damian Estrada said, I don't see why the leagues are planning on having a season if people can't be at the games. I mean, don't we as fans pay money to the leagues and the players? So if we can't be there, why have sports at all? Because you can still have it on television. Wild Bill said, can we all just get along?
Oh, no. That wouldn't be fun at all.
No, that's not what this is about. We do have a lot more people watching now. For those that missed it, our big announcement earlier, we are going to work for SBR, Sportsbook Review. We will be doing their college football coverage. So all of our college football coverage this year will be on SBR's YouTube page on their website, sportsbookreview.com. But we will be posting all of it over at winningcureseverything.com, and we'll still be doing our show. It just won't be college football content. It'll be NFL, et cetera.
NFL and everything else going on.
You got it. So we've hit on Arkansas. We've hit on Auburn. Let's go ahead and knock out Alabama. Nick Saban, I believe, by 2025, will be riding off into the pasture. He will be over at the lake in Georgia, riding on his ski boat, doing all, playing golf, whatever, hanging out with his grandkids. I think Mario Cristobal will be the new head coach at Alabama. It is between It is between Cristobal and I think Pruitt, but we'll do the SEC East tomorrow. Spoiler, I like Pruitt in that job. I think he's going to be really, really good. So I don't foresee him leaving it, but we'll see. I think that Mario Cristobal will come back down to the South after he, does some good things with Oregon. I don't foresee him doing a Dabo thing.
You're working under an assumption that he's just going to dominate the Pac-12.
No.
What happens if he is an 8-4 team in the Pac-12 consistently?
If he is 8-4 consistently,
because that's what Oregon's been consistently.
To be fair, what did they do last year? 12-2,
Okay, that was last year. You're looking at last year. You just assume last year is going to be every year?
No, I don't think it's going to be every year. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to do what Dabo did at Clemson, which is why I think it's more likely that he will leave as opposed to Jeremy Pruitt or whatever. I think Oregon will pay quite a bit of money. I don't think they will pay what
let's say he's 9-3. Let's say he averages 9-3 between now and then.
Okay.
Do you want him at Bama? Is he still your number one guy at Bama?
Yeah.
That's insane. I'd love that.
Who in the world would you expect them to go get?
I don't know.
That's the thing. There's not another Saban. There's not another Dabo.
No.
There's not another Urban Meyer. Those are the three right up there at the top, right? So aside from them, anybody has just as good of a shot to do whatever at Alabama as anywhere else. So
you know who I think is a lot better than him? A lot better coach than him.
Who's that?
It's a guy I don't really like him very much. I think it's Brian Kelly.
Kelly's already older.
That's insane. You're looking at age for coaching is just insane.
Well, we're looking at age in 5 years.
Okay.
So, so what do you tell me what you think, and I'm gonna tell you what Brian Kelly's age is right now.
All right. I think Brian Kelly is a substantially better coach than Mario Cristobal. He's at his school where his kids have to read. Okay. They have to be not marginally intelligent. They have to be pretty high intelligent.
Yeah.
And he is at his ceiling. The fact that he competed for a national championship and went undefeated with the schedule that they have almost every year is pretty remarkable to me. And I think if he got a hold of an Alabama or an Ohio State or an Oklahoma or an LSU or a school of that nature, he would be exactly what Clemson and Bama are.
He is, let's see, his birthday is October 25th, 1961, so he is 58 years old. That would put him at 63.
63, okay.
In 2025.
That is not very old at all.
No, it's not. That could be reasonable. You bring him in.
I just think he's a way better coach. If you told me I could have Mario Cristobal right now or in 5 years, or I get Brian Kelly right now or in 5 years, I think Brian Kelly is a world. Who's the best coach that I think might leave their program in 5 years or less that could coach one of the top 3 or 4 schools in the country? I think he's at the top of that list simply because he has faced those guys and he realizes I'll never be able to beat them. I'll never be able to beat them no matter what I do because ACT, SAT requirements to get into my school I can't get that talent here.
Let me jump in here. Joseph said, Big Flash Gordon identifying talent. Nice. Don't let Teddy Covers get you locked in on 1990 stories. No worries. I love Teddy. And then he said, did Chris just say they have to know how to count without using their toes? Yeah, that's a Southern thing. Michael said he's a better coach and a fellow Libra. Yes, look, I was looking at it from an age difference and looking in 5 years. I didn't realize that Brian Kelly was only 58 years old. Yeah, if I had the choice,
I would take Mike Norvell right now over Mario Cristobal. And I don't know what he's going to be able to do at Florida State. I just don't. I'll buy into Mario Cristobal when he can dominate a Pac-12. That's about as bad a football as we've seen in the last 4 years.
Damian said, "Why not hire Urban Meyer?"
Urban, I wouldn't touch Urban.
There's a lot of bad blood between Urban and the University of Alabama. For one,
that heart and brain defect or whatever he keeps saying that he's got.
Yeah.
When he left Florida for a heart problem, he left Ohio State for a brain problem. I don't know what else could go wrong in 5 years, but
Alabama's not going to be desperate.
No, they won't be desperate.
So I think
plenty of good young coaches you're not even thinking of right now.
Yeah.
I mean, what happens if Satterfield makes a playoff with Louisville?
Or not even a playoff. Like, what if he makes that a perennial 10-win team? I mean, there's
that's what I'm saying. Like, the reason you can't pick a coach now for a school like that or any of these schools.
Well, it's because these are all hypothetical. So
you have no idea. Yeah. I just want to tell you what I think these guys will be doing that are there right now. Are they going to be there or are they not?
Wild Bill said, I agree about Pruitt. Is Phil Steele out yet? Great college football source. No, Phil Steele will not be out until August.
Yeah, it's coming out when?
In like the first week of August.
Okay, yeah. It's bumped back. I knew it was bumped back a lot.
However, all the other Athlon, Lindy's, Street and Smith, all that stuff is already out. So it's weird to have it out.
Don't ask me what I think about Pruitt because I put my foot in my mouth 2 years in a row. I'm probably going to do it a third, but
hey, it's all good. Hey, you just do what you do. Michael said Urban Meyer is an all-time D-bag.
Yeah.
All right, let's move.
Alabama would be great, though. They don't give a shit.
Hey, just win, baby. That's all it is. LSU. Let's move on to that.
That guy's not leaving there unless he leaves in a body bag.
This is not a Tuberville situation or anything like that when he was at Ole Miss and said you'd have to pull me out of here in a pine box or whatever. Ed Orgeron will still be the head coach at LSU in 2025.
He will be dancing his body to his grave on site at LSU. I don't know where his family cemetery is, but he will be buried in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you got that right. Wild Bill said that new coach at Arkansas is stealing Oklahoma boys. They should be much improved, maybe 7-6 this year.
I think Sam Pittman's going to be just fine. It will take a while because they got no time. That is a complete rebuild. Now, I also said Louisville was a train wreck, and it was going to take a while to get good, and Satterfield made them way better than I thought. And Kansas State, I thought was going to take a while, and apparently there's talent there, and I just didn't realize it because the coaching staff at both those places was just so far gone. I don't foresee him doing what those two did. I think Pittman's going to be just fine. I love Kendall Browse. I think Odom is a great DC. This is the staff I would have hired if I had carte blanche to hire anybody and the AD was going to stay out of me. Those are the two guys I would have went out and got. Okay.
All right, so we both agree on LSU.
LSU's the easiest one in this thing.
Yeah, we got Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, and LSU. Let's move on to Ole Miss.
About to get to the fun ones.
Yep. Lane Kiffin is there right now. You want me to go ahead?
Sure.
Okay. Lane Kiffin, I think, will be gone to a better job at this point. That's not to say that Ole Miss is a bad job, but I think he gets hired at a big-time school because at that point, everything is shifting to where social media matters, where the coach has to be personable, the coach has to be able to get along with the players really well, like all this kind of stuff, right? It's kind of shifting even more so right now than it ever has, and Kiffin is like the perfect coach for that. He can recruit. He has he's got the skills. He's got the offensive firepower, the offensive philosophy to be able to win, and he's adaptable, and he's still insanely young, so I think he's going to move to a bigger job eventually. Now, with that said, I think Ole Miss is going to end up hiring Billy Napier. I think Billy Napier from Louisiana Lafayette is going to that's who I thought was going to get it the first time.
You think Billy's not going to get a job for 5 more years, or you think Lane's going to do such a good job where he gets pulled away in 2?
I think Lane could get pulled away in like 2 or 3 years. I don't look. Billy Napier has his option of Baylor, of Arkansas, a couple other ones that he was actually offered this year at Mississippi State. He was offered these jobs and didn't want them. Now, he's comfortable staying at Louisiana for a while. I mean, he's making over $1 million a year. I think he's going to be just fine. I think Billy Napier is going to end up being the next coach in Oxford. So that's my thought process on it.
Lane's going to be there.
You think Lane will still be there in 5 years?
I fully believe. You know me, the guy who had it all and lost it all. I think that second time round, I think that guy is way more loyal. I really do. I really do. Right. I think everything Lane has gone through up until this point in his life, I don't think he's going to jump ship quickly at all. I think he has changed jobs every year and a half to every 2 years like clockwork, because he either got ran off or went for greener pastures and then got fired because it just wasn't good enough. And I think now that he is in a big boy job, it might not be USC, Bama, Notre Dame big, but it's a big boy Power 5 SEC football job. And if he can win at a competitive level, win 8-9 games every year, every fourth year, get to double-digit wins and try to get to an SEC title game, I think he could be there the rest of his life if he wants to. I'm not saying he has to be there the rest of his life, but I damn sure don't think he's jumping at the first job that comes to him that's bigger than this. I think he is going to try to lay down some roots. I think he wants to see an entire recruiting class come under him and through him. And I think he is going to be very picky about the next job he takes.
You might be right. You might be right. Damian jumped in. He said, what about Jim Harbaugh? I mean, his time as Michigan head coach is likely over, so why not sign him? Harbaugh ain't going to the SEC for nothing. That ain't happening.
Nah, so I don't know about it. He would never come to the SEC. He ain't going to Bama.
Well, no, he ain't going to Bama, but I'll tell you this. He has said so many derogatory things about the SEC since he's been the head coach at Michigan.
Yeah, but those are all pointed at the big boys of the SEC. I would bet your ass he would take a South Carolina job just to stick it in the butt of all those big boys. Let me take a little school and let me find some big boy and let me make them fools.
Okay.
I would see him at a Missouri or a South Carolina or an Ole Miss I would see him go to a smaller tier school just to fight the big boys, because he likes picking fights with guys bigger than him.
Now you get that right.
He has always done it.
Wild Bill said that's going to be a good fit at Ole Miss. Kiffin has matured. Yeah,
I think Kiffin's a completely different person, and if he jumps at a job in 5 years, it'll be the wrong decision. And I think he has learned from some of his mistakes, and he realizes now I'm making real good money. He could be king of Oxford. I'm not going to go ride somebody else's coattails somewhere else. He tried that, and it just hasn't worked out.
And personality-wise, I think he fits really well at Oxford.
Oh, 100%. There's outside of Ed Orgeron at LSU, there's not a better fit, I don't know, in the country.
Yeah, you might be right about that. Let's move on to Mississippi State. I think Mike Leach will still be the coach in 5 years.
He ain't going anywhere because nobody bigger than State is calling him. State will always pay enough to keep him.
Yep, I think you're right. Now, his tenure did not get started off on the best foot, but I think you can find a way to get past that. I think he's going to win enough games.
That he was going to run some kids off when he first got there, because his philosophy and how he does things is just going to wear people wrong. He's never going to outwork the next guy, but the guys that come in to play for him are coming to play for him. So you got a 1 year weirdness. Everybody that's there this year that plays for him this year will be fine, and any new person that comes in will be fine.
Yeah, you got that right. They've gotten quite a few transfers. Michael said never been, but heard Ole Miss campus is beautiful. Would be cool to check out. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out.
It's beautiful, and the Grove is cool. I mean, it is a cool place to be on a football game weekend. I mean, it's really, really nice.
It definitely
Wear
is.
Sunglasses, brother.
Yeah, you got that right.
The talent is hot.
Let's go to Texas A&M. This will be the last one, and then we'll get out of your hair. I think Jimbo's still there in 5 years.
No doubt.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that's another fit that I think just works really well.
Yeah. I mean, Jimbo is he's not a Texas, oil rig, whatever kind of guy, but he seems to fit in well. I mean,
here's the thing. I didn't know that he was going to fit in well in
Florida State.
Florida State. And he seems to just be that 50-year-old man that can kind of walk into any room and have a conversation with anybody.
Yeah.
You're a rich oil tycoon? All right. You wrestle gators on the weekends? All right. You grew up, poor and play basketball with, a milk crate, hung to a telephone pole. I can handle, he can talk to anybody. He's maybe the most, I would consider him like the mayor of the SEC. He's the most likable guy outside of the fact that if he's your rival, you hate him. But
yeah,
just
he has
take who he works for out of it. He can walk into any room and hang with anybody.
He has turned the recruiting around for sure. So we'll see what they do. I mean, this is the year that he really needs to. Obviously, he's got a
We
massive
really need
contract.
this season to play out for A&M.
Yeah.
As much as I want LSU to do well, they were my pick last year, and you were 100% right. That team is a little too young, and that schedule was way too brutal, 100% on both of those.
Yep.
That schedule sets up beautiful. Beat LSU, beat Auburn, beat Alabama. If you can win 2 of those 3 games,
then you're
it's
good.
going to be a hell of a year for you, man.
You got that right. I mean, you win 2 of those 3, and you're going to be 11-1.
Yes,
basically.
I believe that. I believe that.
Damian Estrada said, what about Mark Trestman? I mean, the XFL isn't coming back, so why not give him an SEC job? Trestman doesn't have any ties down here, and Trestman
in the SEC, it's all about recruiting.
Yeah,
it
doesn't have ties.
Mississippi State's got the one coach that don't give a shit about recruiting. Okay.
Yeah. Now he does have a staff that cares though, and that matters. I don't know that Trestman.
He doesn't care.
No.
Trestman would not fit well in the SEC. That is a Big Ten guy. He needs to be an OC at Penn State or somewhere.
You got that right. Michael said Jimbo's a really good guy. I wouldn't want anyone else leading the Aggies. And then he said, can't wait to see what happens after Mond. Mond should be a lot better, but I think there's better out there.
I would tell you, if they don't do well this year, I wonder what kind of leash Mond's going to have, because I think the talent on that team is pretty stacked. If Mond underperforms, he better have a backup that he can sling in there and give a shot to. You don't want to waste this season.
No.
With that schedule and the talent that's on that team, don't burn it because you're married to a quarterback. Listen, I worship at the feet of Les Miles, but we lost many a game because he was married to the guy he started with, and he just would never pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jimbo is that.
Jimbo wants to win, man, and he's going to do whatever he needs to.
I love Jimbo a lot. Look, that was a newly single man that just got a $10 million deal. Woo! College Station was rocking for that gentleman.
$75 million over 10 years. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
A&M boots on, those Spurs.
You got that.
That is a man about town.
Get his cowboy hat on, all that good stuff. All right. I don't think there's anything else that's popped up. So we'll go on and get out of here. Tomorrow we'll do the SEC East. We'll have to do it from my office. We're going to go live at 3 p.m. Central tomorrow. So everybody join us again. For those that missed it, the announcement today was that we are moving our college football coverage over to Sportsbook Review. That's right. We're going to work for SBR. We will be doing all of our college football picks, our opening and closing line stuff, all of our talk about college football is going to be on sportsbookreview.com and over on their YouTube page for this college football season. So starting in August all the way through, really February for recruiting and whatnot, we're going to be doing everything over at SBR on that. Now, we are still going to have our show for NFL, NBA, all the other sports that are happening. We're still going to be doing Winning Cures Everything, but our college football content will be over at SBR. We appreciate those guys. We are looking forward to the opportunity. So we have agreed to terms. We are getting ready to rock and roll with them. We still got a few things to work out, but that is the plan right now. Starting in August, college football coverage over at sportsbookreview.com. Right now, this show, Winning Cures Everything, is brought to you by Tunica, Mississippi, the South's premier sports gambling destination. They got 6 incredible sports books. You can find more information on them over at tunicatravel.com. You can find us at winningcureseverything.com. Make sure you are subscribed to the podcast. Make sure you are subscribed on all the different live platforms, Periscope, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, etc. Share the show out. Tell your buddies. Devin CFB said, can't wait to when I hit 18 so I can start betting on teams. Hey, cheers to you, brother. I think it's 21, but
not for offshore.
Not for offshore. All right, well there you go, Devin. Hop in,
it didn't
brother.
Used to be. I wasn't 21.
There you go. We'll see. Either way, go check them out. Sportsbookreview.com, winningcureseverything.com. We love you guys. Thank you so much for hopping in. You help drive the conversation. We appreciate everybody that jumps in the chat every single day. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Leave a nice review. And as always, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for checking out Winning Cures Everything. If you want to keep up with us, hit subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Visit the website at winningcureseverything.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us at Winning Cures, at Gary WCE, or at Chris B. Giannini on Twitter. Share out the show, leave a nice review, and make sure to comment and tweet at us.